The screams pierced through the evening air like shattered glass, echoing off the empty playground equipment and bouncing against the brick walls of Lincoln Elementary. Sarah Martinez pressed her face against the cold window of the after-hours tutoring room, her heart hammering as she watched three shadowy figures surrounding someone near the monkey bars. The victim's expensive suit caught the amber glow of the streetlight to a stark contrast to the violence unfolding in what should have been a sanctuary for children's laughter. Marcus Thompson was halfway through mopping the cafeteria floor when he heard it. The sound that every parent dreads, a genuine terror. His weathered hands gripped the mop handle tighter as he paused, listening. At 42, Marcus had learned to distinguish between playground rehearsing and real danger. This was different. This was wrong. He'd been working at Lincoln Elementary for 3 years. Ever since the factory closed and left him scrambling to keep food on the table for his 8-year-old daughter, Lily. The janitor position didn't pay much, but it came with something invaluable: flexibility. He could be there when Lily got home from school, help with her homework, and tuck her in at night. After his wife died in a car accident 2 years ago, those moments became sacred. But now, someone needed help. Marcus dropped his mop and ran toward the commotion, his keys jangling against his hip with each hurried step. Through the glass doors, he could see 3 men, a broad-shouldered and aggressive, circling their prey like wolves. The victim was on the ground now, trying to shield himself with his briefcase as boots connected with his ribs. "Hey!" Marcus's voice boomed across the playground as he burst through the doors. "Get away from him!" The attackers spun around, their faces twisted with surprise and annoyance. The largest one, wearing a torn leather jacket, sneered at Marcus's approach. "Walk away, old man," the leader growled. "This doesn't concern you." But Marcus kept walking, his heart pounding so hard he could hear it in his ears. Up close, he could see the victim more clearly, a man in his 50s with silver hair and kind eyes that were now wide with fear and pain. Blood trickled from his nose, and his suit was torn at the shoulder. "I said walk away." The second attacker, shorter but stockier, pulled something from his jacket. The moonlight caught the metal, a knife. Marcus's mouth went dry, but his feet kept moving. He thought of Lily, asleep at his sister's house, waiting for him to pick her up after his shift. He thought of all the children who would run through this playground tomorrow, laughing and playing games. He thought of the man on the ground, someone's father, someone's son. "Please," Marcus said, raising his hands. "Just leave him alone. Take whatever you want, but don't hurt him anymore." The leader laughed, a sound devoid of warmth. "What are you gonna do? Mop us to death?" That's when Marcus noticed his cleaning cart a few feet away, abandoned in his rush to help. An idea flickered in his mind, a desperate, probably stupid, but maybe their only chance. "You're right," Marcus said, backing toward the cart. "I'm just a janitor. I clean up messes." He grabbed the industrial spray bottle filled with ammonia-based cleaner. But sometimes, messes need cleaning immediately. Before any of them could react, Marcus squeezed the trigger, sending a stream of the cleaning solution directly into the leader's eyes. The man screamed, clawing at his face as he stumbled backward. His companions hesitated for a crucial second, long enough for Marcus to grab his wet mop and swing it like a baseball bat, connecting with the knife wielder's wrist. The blade clattered across the asphalt. "Run!" Marcus shouted to the injured man, who was struggling to his feet. But the third attacker was already charging. Marcus barely had time to raise the mop handle before the man tackled him, sending them both crashing into the monkey bars. Pain exploded through Marcus's shoulder as metal met bone, but he managed to roll away as a fist whistled past his ear. The man on the ground, the CEO, though Marcus didn't know that Janitor wasn't running. Instead, he was fumbling with his phone, his fingers shaking as he dialed 911. "Police, please." We need help at Lincoln Elementary. The leader, still rubbing his streaming eyes, was recovering quickly. You made a big mistake, Janitor, he snarled, advancing on Marcus, who was backed against the playground equipment. Marcus gripped a monkey bar, his knuckles white. This was it. He'd done what he could, but now sirens wailed in the distance, growing closer. The three attackers froze, their heads snapping toward the sound. The leader cursed violently, then grabbed his companions. "We're done here," he spat. Within seconds, they had melted into the darkness between the buildings, leaving behind only the echo of running footsteps. Marcus slumped against the monkey bars, his whole body shaking with adrenaline. The man in the suit approached slowly, favoring his left leg. "Thank you," he said simply, extending a trembling hand. "I'm David Chen, and you just saved my life." "Marcus Thompson," he replied, accepting the handshake. "Are you hurt bad?" "The ambulance should be here soon." David shook his head, though blood still stained his shirt. "I'll be fine." "But why did you help me? You could have been killed." Marcus looked around the playground, at the swings swaying gently in the breeze, at the slides where tomorrow children would play without fear. "Because someone had to," he said quietly. "Because that's what we do for each other." The police arrived first, followed by the ambulance. As the paramedics checked David's injuries, he insisted on staying to give his statement. Officer Rodriguez, a woman with kind eyes and graying temples, took detailed notes as both men recounted the attack. "Mr. Thompson," she said finally, "what you did was incredibly brave, and incredibly dangerous. You realize that, right?" Marcus nodded. "I have a daughter. If someone was hurting me, I'd hope somebody would help." David, sitting on the ambulance bumper with a bandage over a cut on his forehead, overheard. "You have children?" "A daughter, Lily. She's 8. Marcus's face softened when he spoke her name. "Lost her mom 2 years ago. It's just us now." Something shifted in David's expression. "Mr. Thompson, so I need to tell you something. I'm the CEO of Chen Industries. We manufacture educational software and learning tools." He paused, wincing as the paramedic applied antiseptic to a scrape. "Those men, they weren't random muggers. They were angry about layoffs at one of our partner companies. They blamed me." Marcus frowned. "That doesn't make it right." "No, it doesn't. But it makes what you did even more remarkable. You didn't know who I was, what I'd done or hadn't done. You just saw someone who needed help." David's voice grew thick with emotion. "My own security team wasn't even here yet. You were the only one who stepped up." 3 days later, Marcus was surprised by a knock on his apartment door. Through the peephole, he saw David Chen, looking much better than he had that night in the playground. Gone was the torn, bloodied suit, replaced by casual clothes and a warm smile. "Mr. Chen, is everything okay?" "Please, call me David." "And everything is more than okay. May I come in?" Marcus welcomed him into the modest apartment he shared with Lily, who was curled up on the couch doing homework. She looked up with curious eyes. "Lily, this is Mr. David." "David, my daughter Lily." "Nice to meet you, Mr. David," she said brightly. "Daddy, is this your friend from work?" David smiled. "In a way, yes. Your father and I met recently, and he helped me very much." After Lily returned to her homework, David turned to Marcus. "I've been thinking about that night constantly. About what you risked, what you did. I want to do something for you." Marcus shook his head. "You don't owe me anything." "Yes, I do. But this isn't about owing you, it's about recognizing character." "Marcus, I'm starting a new initiative at Chen Industries. Community Heroes Program. We're going to identify people who make a real difference in their communities and help them achieve their dreams." He pulled out an envelope. "I did some research. You have an associate's degree in education, but you never finished your bachelor's because of financial constraints. Then you worked at the factory until it closed. Marcus's heart began to race. David, what are you saying? I'm saying Chen Industries wants to offer you a full scholarship to complete your education degree. And when you graduate, there's a position waiting for you in our educational outreach program. Full benefits, college fund filially, and a salary that will let you build a future you both deserve. Marcus stared at the envelope, his hands trembling. I can't accept this. It's too much. It's not nearly enough, David said firmly. You saved my life with nothing but a mop and more courage than most people will ever show. Let me help you save your future. Lily looked up from her homework, sensing the gravity of the moment. Daddy, what's happening? Marcus knelt beside his daughter, tears in his eyes. Remember how I always tell you that good things happen to people who do the right thing? She nodded solemnly. Well, sweetheart, sometimes it takes a while, but it always comes back around. 6 months later, Marcus walked across the stage at the community college graduation ceremony, his bachelor's degree finally in hand. In the audience, Lily cheered louder than anyone, wearing the new dress David had insisted on buying for the occasion. The CEO had become more than an employer, he'd become family. As Marcus delivered the valedictorian speech he'd been chosen to give, he spoke about that night in the playground, about the choice between walking away and stepping up, about how a mop and a bottle of cleaning solution had taught him that ordinary people could do extraordinary things. We all have our monkey bars moments, he told the crowd. Times when we're backed into a corner and have to decide who we really are. The beautiful thing is, we get to choose. Every single day, we get to choose kindness over indifference, courage over comfort, love over fear. In the front row, David wiped away tears, his own family beside him. His wife and teenage son had heard the story dozens of times, but it never got old. It had changed how they all saw the world, how they looked for opportunities to lift others up. After the ceremony, as families gathered for pictures, David approached Marcus. So, ready to start your new job on Monday? Marcus grinned, Lily perched on his shoulders. More than ready, though I have to admit, I'm going to miss that old mop. David laughed. Don't worry, we're keeping it. It's going in the lobby of our new community center, with a plaque telling this story. Some heroes carry swords, some carry badges, but sometimes, they carry mops. As they walked into the golden afternoon sun, Marcus reflected on how dramatically his life had changed. Not because he'd sought reward or recognition, but because when faced with darkness, he'd chosen to be light. The playground where it all began was visible in the distance, filled with children whose laughter carried on the window a reminder that the smallest acts of courage could echo through generations, changing everything.